Good morning, good morning, good morning. Michaela Gilbert here in Hahndorf in South Australia, and the sun's out, guns out. What a beautiful day to come and visit Daniel at the Aboriginal Art House right here in Hahndorf. Now this place is usually lit up at night with so many fairy lights, and during the day lots and lots of artwork out the front. We've got here a bit early so we can go in and have a chat with Daniel, so let's go. Yay, Daniel! Here he is. And how else do we have here?
We have my little son, Benny.
Hi, Benny. How was Benny?
High fives. How about that?
Nah, he's tired.
A little bit too early for him. Yeah.
Daniel, can you tell us about the Aboriginal Art House?
The Aboriginal Art House is a contemporary Aboriginal art gallery right here in the heart of Hahndorf, and we specialise in original artworks from the Central Desert.
Yep, okay. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So when you say the Central Desert, for those that don't understand where that is, what part of Australia? I know you say Central Desert, but whereabouts?
It's around about 300-400 kilometres around Alice Springs, a little bit further to the west. The Central Desert area is a bit larger yet, but the artworks that we have here are from a smaller area closer to the Alice Springs area.
And mostly women artists?
Mostly women artists. We do have a few male artists as well, but traditionally there are just more female artists, and they produce some stunning artworks.
And what is the unique part, I guess, differentiating features between Aboriginal art from the Central Desert from other parts of Australia?
Well, if you went, for example, further north to the Darwin area, you have a lot of rack designs, traditional cross-hatching patterns. The X-ray imagery comes from those areas, which is distinctly different from the Central Desert style. The Central Desert style is more dot-based.
Yeah.
It's your traditional Aboriginal art that pops to mind when you think about Indigenous art.
And how do you describe, I guess, when you say contemporary Aboriginal artwork?
Yeah.
That seems like a bit of a juxtaposition.
Yes.
We're talking about traditional artwork, but with a contemporary twist. How does that work?
You have a lot of Dreamtime stories that go way back in time, and these stories are traditionally being kept alive even today through the media of acrylic paint on canvas, and these stories are and the dreamings are being painted on those media.
Oh, okay, so it's more the media rather than the actual technique.
Well, it's a mixture of both, I would say, but these artworks have been painted in the last, let's say, 5 to 10 years, as opposed to antique pieces that you might find in an archaeological display, for example.
Sure. So show us some art and describe it to us. Let's go.
We can go.
Can we start in here?
We can go around here. Yeah, why not? Let's just start with this big one here because it's so prominently put up. This is a painting that's called Patterns of the Desert, which is an aerial perspective of the landscape near Tea Tree, where Annie Napangadi Nelson, the artist, is from. It's an incredible technique in that she uses, you can see, a myriad of tiny little dots. They're about 1 millimeter or 2 in diameter. And Annie uses a bundle of chicken skewers, traditional chicken skewers from the supermarket. Yeah. And she dips the whole bundle into the paint and then puts 30, 40 dots onto the canvas at any one time. That is for the background, which is in this case the dark brown and the yellow oxide. Once that's dry, she puts the white lines onto it. Each dot gets put on individually. Takes a long time for her to make, and it's quite interesting to watch her do it, because I'll put a photograph up here while she's doing a larger piece a few years ago.
You've got a monkey on your shoulder there.
I do have a little one on the shoulder here. Say hello.
Hi, monkey.
You know,
now, how about this style of work? This is different again, isn't it?
This one here, yeah.
With the brush strokes.
Absolutely.
Is that with brushes?
This is a different technique. This one's called bush medicine leaves. These are the dry leaves. They have a curvature in them, which happens when they dry up, shrivel up. Bernadine Johnson is a traditional custodian of the bush medicine plant. And in her role as custodian, she paints the story. She talks about the plant. She teaches the young children, not necessarily only her own, but of the family group, about the importance of the plant, how to apply it, and she produces some extraordinary artworks revolving around her dreaming.
It's beautiful. This is another beautiful piece up here.
This one up here is another one by an artist. Her name is Gloria Pajara, very famous artist from a community called Utopia in the Northern Territory.
Oh, beautiful.
It was found that this community is very small. It consists of a number of different satellite outposts, each associated with a certain family group. And Gloria is one of 7 sisters, or 6, I think, most of whom have made it into places like the British Museum. They've had international exhibitions. We're talking some seriously successful artists, and Gloria is a lovely lady. This one here, the swirly brushstroke style, is represents the change in colour of the skin of the mountain devil lizard.
Oh wow, it's a lizard!
It is a lizard. It's a little thorny little lizard,
Oh,
and
wow.
that lizard can change its colour ever so slightly, a bit like a chameleon.
Oh.
And the swirly brushstrokes represent that change in colour.
So every single piece in here, you know the story behind it, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
So when someone comes to potentially purchase a piece of work,
Yep.
I guess you encourage people to buy them from a reputable dealer, especially if you're going to buy Indigenous art, because you get the story and the money goes back to the right communities.
Well, that's right, absolutely. We are part of the Australian Indigenous Art Code, which sets out parameters on how to deal with Indigenous people, as in, fair, transparent transactions and a fair price as well. So and when you do that, you keep getting high quality artworks in return. And not the ones that get flogged off somewhere else. Yeah.
It is gorgeous. So guys, let's have a quick look through before we finish to show you a couple of more amazing pieces. This one here is probably one of the most stunning pieces in the gallery, I think.
Yeah, very, very colourful.
It is amazing.
Gorgeous piece by Deborah Nangala MacDonald. It's called Women's Ceremony, and it's again an aerial depiction of a place called Blackwater, which is near Papunya, the cradle of Indigenous art as we know it today, also in the Northern Territory. It shows a ceremonial ground from the air.
It's beautiful.
Where traditionally the older ladies would take the young girls away from the main camp for a period of time to teach them what they need to know about womanhood.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic. You need to know the story about the paintings because it's not always immediately visible what it represents and what the vision of the artist is.
Yeah. How many pieces do you currently have in the gallery, do you think?
Oh, we do have probably about 200-300 pieces on display on the walls, and then we have a lot more tucked away in drawers, at the framing places, etc. So we cater, we have the smallest pieces, little ones, to really large ones that we can't even put up on the wall.
Yeah, you don't need to spend thousands of dollars to have an Indigenous piece of art in your home.
No.
And I've always grown up believing that every Australian home should have a piece of Indigenous art.
Yeah, I believe it's a very nice touch, and especially if you, if you're committed to helping out and recognising the traditional owners of this country.
And I guess being in Hardorf with the international tourists that come into town, they really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And they love it, and they're learning something about our culture and taking it back to their own countries as well. So thank you very much for being a custodian of such beautiful work.
Thank you so much.
Come up here and have a look, guys. Honestly, it is a vibrant expression of colour. So many stories, so many pieces of artwork. You will get lost in here for potentially hours. And take a little piece of Australia home with you when you're visiting. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Thank you so much.
Do you have a favourite piece of artwork? Which one's your favourite piece? Green pieces, that's nice.
You like
excellent.
green.
Thanks, Benny, for having us in your dad's shop
High
as
five.
well. High five.
That's
excellent. So until next time, see you later.
Thank you.